Moscow City Council recently approved participation in a land trust program to facilitate development of affordable housing. Many of those council members are here today. I think they're all here, actually. That's great. We acknowledge similar needs for senior housing, and we're serious about establishing a new light industrial zone to diversify our local economy. We're all familiar with the sobering reports of our nation's economy. We heard them from our congressman this afternoon. And it's important that we recognize the distinctions and commonalities at the local level. We're not immune from what happens at the global, national, or state levels, but our economic base affords us some buffering. A report from the Idaho Department of Labor predicts that the big contributors to new jobs through mid-2009 will be healthcare and education. IDL estimated that over 30% of 36,000 jobs generated between mid-2007 and 2009 will be in these sectors. The major employers for Moscow, as we know, are Lake County, or the University of Idaho, Washington State University, and Brigham Medical Center. So we have branded this area as Palouse Knowledge Corridor to build on those regional strengths with the two major research institutions, an educated and innovative workforce, and the ideal fit for this emerging economy. Employees in those sectors also support jobs in retail, entertainment, construction, manufacturing, and technology. The University of Idaho employs 1/3 of Lake County's workers, and according to workforce trends, provides economic stability and insulates the county from national economic cycles. Enrollment has been up by just over 1% for each of the last 2 semesters, and undergraduate applications for fall enrollment are 12% over this time last year. Chris is nodding his head, so, okay. On the downside, state contributions, as we heard, are, contributions to higher education anyway, are expected to be reduced by 10% this year, and WSU is bracing for as much as a 20% cut. So realistically, those reductions will result in reduced spending capacity in our regional economy. Both institutions have expressed a desire to preserve jobs wherever possible. So October marked the 85th consecutive month that Idaho's unemployment rate was below the national average. Figures from Idaho Department of Labor showed unemployment rate in Lake County was 4.9% in 2008 and 3.4% on average for the year, compared to a statewide average of 6.6% in December and 4.2% for the year. Nationwide, the unemployment in December was 7.2% and 5.8% for the year. So in comparison, the December figures for nearby Clearwater and Idaho counties were 16.3% and 11.8% respectively, and those counties rely heavily on the timber industry, and that responds to the downturn in construction. Nationwide, home foreclosures in 2008 were 81% above the numbers in 2007, and I think they've been shown to be getting worse at the national level. It affects more than 2.3 million Americans. But in October, Moscow and Pullman each listed 8 foreclosure properties compared to 47 in Lewiston. So even though unemployment rate in Lake County is lower than the national figures and lower than most of our neighbors, we're ranked 34th out of the 44 counties. It is important to recognize that the jobless rate in our county represents more than 800 people. We are a caring and supportive community, and people matter. So we're seeing effects at area food banks, both in terms of donations and demand. Backyard Harvest is one of a number of local programs that helps people in need. Last year, volunteers cleaned over 19,000 pounds of food to distribute to people in need in our community. That nonprofit organization also manages a food stamp program at our local farmers market, and is soon expected to expand to include WIC, the Women, Infants, and Children's program, and also senior nutrition programs. According to the founder of Backyard Harvest, Chaney, she said that the organization is about tying the community together. So to attract funding for area nonprofits and to leverage our local resources, the City of Moscow is going to host another grant proposal writing workshop free of charge to attendees so that we can help people learn to be successful in their grant writing to generate those outside dollars and dollars from some of our local nonprofit organizations like Lake County Community Foundation and the Giving Circle. One estimate predicts the demise of over 100,000 nonprofits nationwide this year. So I think it's very important that we continue to do what we can to keep those resources alive and well here, because the nonprofits and the volunteers can do things that government cannot do. State revenue sharing budgeted at $806,000 is expected to decline by $70,000 to $90,000 this year. The portion from sales tax is estimated at $464,000, about $25,000 less than in 2008. Highway tax distribution that has been relatively stable at $851,000 since 2005 is expected to be off by about $45,000 this year, and that will be reflected in our city's streets budget. The liquor share apportionment is expected to remain relatively flat, and we anticipated that in the municipal budget. To be sure, we are facing serious problems and serious challenges, but there are plenty of people and businesses hurting around our country. Some of them are here on the Palouse. Many of us have seen our college savings and retirement funds decline. We are facing the sobering reality, but much of what we do with that information is emotional. Bad news is contagious. And as a remedy, one owner of a thriving local business advised his employees to just quit watching CNN. So when the Fed officially declared that we are in a recession, a collective gasp went up from Wall Street and the Dow plummeted 680 points. Never mind that that reality was already a year old. So several days later, after plans for a stimulus package were announced, stocks soared, and they've been on this roller coaster ever since. My point being, a lot of what we do with this is emotional. Now is not the time to spend frivolously, but neither should we panic or hole up inert expecting the worst. It is a time to anticipate changing market demands, to invest strategically, and prepare for the new economy that will emerge during and after this recession. Sean Higgins, who's Director of Sales and Marketing at the Spokesman Review and a longtime economic prognosticator, recently addressed those issues in his remarks to the Spokane Valley Chamber of Commerce. He observed that the recession came late to the inland Northwest. He predicted that it will be shorter and less severe than elsewhere in the country. And borrowing from Winston Churchill, who is said to have invested in the U.S. stock market during the Great Depression, he said, "Those who come through this pinch will reap the future." So in keeping with the slow and steady approach, Moscow's chamber director predicts the local economy will trudge along until we start seeing a national recovery. Our economy includes numerous examples of businesses that are nimble, responsive, that fill gaps or provide noteworthy customer service, create a welcoming atmosphere, combine uses, and support local causes. One of those is Tri-State Distributors that has enjoyed record-setting sales again in 2008. Their sales in December were 20% above any month before. How did they do it? Well, anyone who knows Gerard Connolly knows that positive attitude plays a huge role. But in addition, his business knows its market, provides knowledgeable and attentive customer service, and is an active community partner. Last year, Tri-State contributed in excess of $100,000 to area causes. Gerard, who is a perennial marathoner, told me that unlike our racing times, financial numbers can actually improve, and it requires, quote, vision, optimism, and capital investment for a business to remain youthful and vigorous.